Okay, my connection is still bad. I don't know. Anyway, this is Reverend Crystal. Welcome to Wedding Tip Wednesday. This is my Halloween presentation to you. When you come in, please let me know where you're coming from and what your name is. Just say hi. If you're seeing this on the replay, just say replay, and again, let me know where you're from, because I love to see where people are coming from. So today, hi Jeff. Nice to see you. I'm going to wave. I'm going to talk a little bit today about fear, because we have these fears that play out in our lives, and they can really stop us from trying new things, doing new things, being a success. And I know that there are there's lots of different places that you can find out, information about fear, but I really want to put this in the context of being an officiant and how that works for us and how it plays for us and plays against us. And I think that really one of the basic fears in determining who we are in business and who we are as an officiant is having a fear that we're not going to find our stride. We're not going to find the words that matter the most to us. We're not going to know the best way to market our own services. And it's really about being disconnected with who we really are and knowing that no matter what it is that we do or what we don't do. Hi, Heidi. What we do or we don't do, however something works out really well or it doesn't work out really well, that we are enough, and that we have to build what we do on the fact that we are enough. Now, Halloween is a time, right, when people throw caution to the wind. They, might live in somebody else's persona. They have fun. They make fear of the screaming, the screaming and the terror and the blood and the gore and all that kind of thing. But those are all like outer things that we do. But what I'm talking about is not so much about the fear of not knowing what to do, but really knowing that whatever it is that we do, that we are enough. So that there is a stride as being an officiant. Hi, Heidi. Again, oh, I see. That there is a stride that is exactly right for you, that there is a ceremony that's right for you. I don't know how many of you as officiants that when you first got ordained, a set of ceremonies that you thought were the right ones to use, and then you might have tried to give those, but you didn't really feel connected to them. But I think what you want to do is give yourself enough freedom to play around with the words, to add, to subtract, until you find that framework ceremony that is right for you, that you feel good about what you say. It's not about trying to fit yourself into what the denomination or whatever says is the right thing for you to be saying. You need to find words that you love to share and that you feel good about it. And so when you create that framework ceremony, no matter what your clients, your couples might ask you to include in that ceremony or not, you're still going to feel good about it. And that's so important to know that you are enough, and that the services that you're offering and being present for the couple, that is enough. You're also going to find the right way to market for yourself and to get your services out there. Sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to try all of these different methods that are out there to market ourselves, and there are some that are really right for us. It kind of makes me laugh and think about, I saw a statistic a while ago that some of these photographs that are on Instagram, that the kids that take these photographs, and some of them are the ones that were on Facebook. I don't think that many kids are on Facebook anymore. I think it's mostly for us old bogies. But that they would take between 150 and 250 photographs before they picked one that they liked, that was, perfect enough for them. And so, just let go of that you are enough the way that you are. Now, how about this one? Give me a thumbs up if you've ever dealt with this fear when it comes to being a wedding officiant, that you might fear that you're always going to be nervous when you're speaking in public. Because public speaking is like one of the top wedding or the top fears of life, period. I know when I first started public speaking, I was so nervous. Now, I was raised in the Unity tradition, and I worked in Silent Unity, which was the prayer ministry, and everybody that worked there had a chance to lead the meditation and the prayer times. We would have certain prayer times where everybody would get together. And when it would come my time, I would just be so freaked out. I would lose sleep up to a week, even though all I needed to do was to take what we had, it's called the Daily Word, and I could just read straight from the Daily Word. I was so nervous. But as time went on, so what happened was, people would have their eyes closed, and so I got used to being in front of people without thinking that they were staring at me. And then I was asked to lead a meditation at a church, and so people would see me. I ended up being the featured soloist at the retreats that they had at Unity Village. And so it was like, it just took time. But the thing that really made the difference for me is I stopped judging the energy that I was feeling, the fear. I stopped making it right or wrong, and it just became a neutral energy. And when I stopped judging it, it was no longer so hard on me. It was because, and I was getting into that understanding that I am enough. I am enough, and this fear is just an energy. I can manage it. It doesn't have to stop me. Let's see, yeah. You never like speech class. Yeah. And some people are like natural hams, and they just love being up in front of people. Maybe you're like me, Heidi, it was not anything. I went kicking and screaming into ministerial school that I had to give speeches. I just didn't want to do it. But I figured it out. And part of it was I also asked the universe to help me. And I think that's why I started out reading the Daily Word. People had their eyes closed, and that it was just a progression. The universe really helps us and gives us the things that we need as we need them. So we want to confront that fear with a new process, which for me was making it a neutral energy rather than making it good or bad, and building on that rather than how many of us overcome something by saying, I'm not going to do that. It's like my saying to you, I don't want you to think about an elephant wearing pink polka dot boxer shorts. So what did you just think of, right? So it's of the different things that are going on in our head, and making a new choice and building on that new choice. Because really, fear is a habit that we have, and there's so much of it around, and we've been practicing it so long that we may think that it's natural. But the truth is that the universe is good. There's so many blessings that are available to us, and so many opportunities and possibilities, but we focus in on these fears, and we let it get us way off balance. And so my experience has been taking a deep breath and settling into, I am enough. I am enough. I can handle this. So here's just a couple of things to be aware of to challenge fears when they come up. But the first one is negative self-talk. Whenever you hear yourself saying, I'm never going to figure this out, or this isn't going to work, or I'm a fraud, or whatever it might be, is you really want to challenge that, because they are lies. Because what you really want to believe in, that's what you want. What you'll find over time, it's like a snowball that goes down a hill, is that the more that we begin to choose these new ways of believing about ourselves and making new choices for ourselves, is that gains momentum. And just like that snowball rolling down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, until pretty soon it crowds out that other belief that we had that was stopping us from trying new things or doing new things. So that's the first thing, is really challenge negative self-talk. The second one is watch comparing yourself to do. But what I try to remember when I catch myself comparing myself to others, and believe me, I do, particularly with the Ready, Willing, and Able Officiant Prep course, I see these other courses that are out there, and I see these real fancy dancy, well put together courses, and these videos that are so awesome, and I start to compare myself to them, and I think, oh God, maybe I should just quit. And yet when I look at what I have in my course, it's awesome. I mean, if I ever took one of those other courses, I will bet you that what I offer in my course is 10 times as good, or if not better. And I don't want to get into that piss and match of mine's better, so I'll stop there. But one of the things about comparing ourselves to others is that we never really know what's going on inside anybody's head. We don't. And so a case in point is, think back on maybe an unfortunate incident where you heard about someone that you knew, or somewhere along the line you heard about somebody who committed suicide and you had no clue. And it's because we're so good at hiding how we really feel and what's really going inside of us. And so don't compare yourself to somebody because you don't know what it took for them to get there, what they're doing to get there. I mean, I think about that sometimes when I see someone who says, I do 200 weddings in a year, or my income is $1 million. And we don't say, well, how much did you spend in order to make that much money? And that's okay. I mean, if somebody wants to spend $900,000 to make $1 million and they have $100,000, that's pretty good. But I just think that we can't compare ourselves to others because we don't really know what's going on. That you are enough, we are enough right where we are. We are in the perfect place as we develop who and what we are. And so one of the things that I did too is I put together a freebie because I think as an officiant, sometimes we really try to step into this role and think that we're supposed to be a certain way. Like I really thought I was supposed to be very stern and reverent when I first started to do wedding ceremonies, and it was like just so not me. So I put together this five ways you think you have to be to lead a wedding ceremony that you really don't. And in the description, there is a link that you can download that freebie for yourself. So let's see, what was the other thing I want to say? Okay, so overcoming our fears, all about replacing it again and overpowering it with something else that means a lot more to us. For instance, if you want to start your own business, or you do want to start advertising or promoting yourself in some way, you might get paralyzed by the fear, that what if fear. What if I'm throwing away money? And you want to challenge that debilitating fear by, I keep stopping because it keeps telling me that I don't have a connection on this. Okay, so you want to do it by accomplishing one small and attainable task every day. So if you've got something on your to-do list and you accomplish it that day, pat yourself on the back and start to give yourself credit for the things that you do. The other thing, I've got a number of little things, and I'm just going to kind of read them off. But another thing that you can do is it's really about reconnecting with who you are, because if we're trying to fulfill some role that we think that we're supposed to, and dress the way that we think that we're supposed to, or what's expected, we're taking ourselves away from connecting with who we really are. And that part of us that is divine knows the right way for, the way that's going to be the most comfortable for us to dress, and the words that are the right things for us to say. But we have to trust that. And then it becomes more that we're making a decision based on what comes from inside of us, instead of these people who we don't really know what's going on for them. Okay, here's some more things. Reconnect with who you really are. And I am a huge proponent of meditation. I don't know, Heidi, if you meditate or not, but meditation doesn't have to be sitting cross-legged and chanting or anything like that. It can be just, taking a walk and really noticing the trees around you, or listening to the sounds of the water. But you want to reconnect with who you are in meditation. And if you stick around, whether you're now or you're seeing this in the replay, I've got a really short little meditation I want to do for us at the very end of it. You want to recite, and you might pick an affirmation. There's tons of affirmations out there, and I've got some really good ones in the Ready, Willing, and Able course. But it might be a good time to just say something like, I am enough. Or pick a mantra, like I am enough can be a mantra, or you might or you might hum something to yourself. It doesn't matter, but you want to pick something that's going to help you get off that negative train and get onto something that's more positive, that you're going to feel better about. Listen to your favorite song. Dance. Doing something and take care of me. You mean like right this very second? Are you talking about in general? Because it's only 5 minutes to, like if you take some time for yourself. Anyway, but you might clarify that in another comment for me. Do some yoga. Do something different with your hair. Oh, in general, and take care of me. Yeah, even just taking 5 minutes to take care of yourself. Yeah, I'm always doing something. Aren't we all? But that's also a habit. And sometimes that habit of always doing something is fear that we're not enough. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, and I don't want to project that on, but I just know I found myself in that kind of situation too. So do something different with your hair, journal, pull out an angel card. I pulled out my angel cards. I don't know if you're a super Christian, you might not like to do this, but I have these little angel cards. I'm going to pick one right now for me. Integrity is what I picked. You know, it's just something to like, oh yeah, I'm going to start thinking about integrity as opposed to, you know, how I'm not enough, or am I talking too fast right now, or am I not smiling enough, or whatever. Pick out clothes that match your mood. Hug a loved one, or pet your cat or your dog or whatever. Message a friend and tell them how much you appreciate them. Or if you like food, if you're a foodie, you know, don't go overboard, but indulge in something that you really enjoy, but you're not going to feel guilty about it. So those are just some things to do, because the thing is that fear and happiness cannot exist side by side. And it's like a muscle. We're so used to exercising the I'm not enough if muscle. We exercise that what if muscle so much that it gets really strong and powerful. And the way to do that it's about building up other muscles, but no longer exercising that muscle so that muscle atrophies. Does that make sense? So if we don't use that muscle, it atrophies, and we really want it to. So trust and belief in yourself and the wisdom that is innate in you is, I guess, what I'm saying in life in general and as an officiant, because we are plugged into this spiritual reality that officiant. So I would like to take a moment and invite you to do a little meditation with me. And it's very short. Don't be afraid of it. It will not hurt you, and it won't bite. It can only be a little really good for you. So, and I think that I wish we could teach meditation in schools, because if we could teach kids to really connect with who they are, it would be so good. So anyway, I'm just going to invite you to take a minute and just close your eyes. Heidi, if you're here, you're not doing anything other than being here. So close your eyes, please. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And just take a gentle breath. I'm not talking about taking a really deep, heavy-duty breath or anything, but just taking a little breath and just hold it for a second or two. And then just let that breath out. And then take in another breath, just a really easy, gentle breath. And hold it for a second, and then just let it out. And then I'm going to ask you to listen to the words that I'm going to say as if you're talking to yourself, and let those words sink in. So only I know what's happened to me and in my life. I know all the feelings I've had, all the events, all the hardships, all of the great moments I've had. And because of, and sometimes in spite of all that's gone on up to this point, I am here. I am here. I'm at a new point of decision. And I can trust in my awesomeness, or I can relapse into the habit of fear. So today, right now, I choose that I'm going to begin again, and I choose that I am enough. I am enough. Where you are right now, I invite you to speak out loud. I am enough. Whether my success as an officiant, as a woman, or a man, a lover, a friend, whatever it is that I want to be, come on now, I give myself a break. I am enough. take off the mask of something's wrong or I'm not enough, and I say with all my heart, I am enough. I am enough. And breathe those words into your whole body. I am enough. And may the words of my heart and the meditations of my mouth, or maybe it's the other way around, may they be that which comes forth and is true in my mind, my heart, my soul, and my body. Take one more deep breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes. So that's it. That's all it takes to meditate. And over time, if it makes you feel good, you don't have to be perfect. One of the things I always tell my couples when I interview them is people understand imperfection more than they understand perfection. And the reality is you got to start somewhere, and you don't want to compare yourself to anybody else, and you don't want to let negative self-talk take over with you. So thanks for joining me today, Heidi. Hi, Rebecca. So I want you to have a happy Halloween, and be sure that you take note too. So this is the other thing. There is a special price. Rebecca, you close your ears because you've already done this, but there's a special pricing for the Ready, Willing, and Able Officiant Prep Program. The price is going to go up to $297 in November. And I'm adding some things to it too. But if you want some great resources, click the link that's also in the description. Hey, I'm glad you're feeling better, Rebecca. It can help you if, I know that some people are, they're somewhat experienced. If you're brand new, it's really going to help to cut down the time that you have to spend on the learning curve. It's not going to take you so long, and it's going to bring the best out of you. It's going to show you how to create really suits who you are. And there's also parts in there about marketing your own services, about networking, and really bringing out who you are as a wedding officiant. And so that, I believe the link for that is also in the description. So this has gone on pretty long. So does anybody have a question, or you want to make another comment? Okay, I'll look forward to hearing from you, Heidi. Rebecca, is all well? Are you dancing? Hey, what do you think about, I was thinking about starting a group called the Dancing Officiants. That'll be the name of my coaching program, the Dancing Officiants. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? Okay. Oh, I didn't know that's what it was, Rebecca. You need to look up Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm sure lots of people are telling you what to do and what to read and all that kind of stuff. Oh, gosh. Do I have your address? I could get that book and send it to you. Try to get it from the library or something. Rebecca, love to you. This is what we used to say in Unity. Mighty currents of God's healing love are flowing through you now. And your body is responding perfectly, and you are made well, whole, and free. All right. All right. We'll dance together, Rebecca. Be good to yourself. Lots of love. Bye, everybody.